It's being an eventful weekend here. I'm down to my last whiskey of the day. It's still, well, the late afternoon, the early evening of a Saturday, during which I have made something like 8 videos. I have here a sample. It is an Ardnamurchan AD backslash, or is it for? I don't know, / backslash. I don't really know. I think it's backslash 02.22 cast strength. Non-chill filtered, not colored, and peated. 58.7% alcohol by volume from Donner Pass Whiskey. Thank you, Tim, for sending me this sample. And I will let you know what I think of it. Ardnamurchan seems to be one of these darling little whiskeys that everyone is into these days. And I haven't really warmed up to it yet. I had a bottle last year, and I tried it with someone, and it didn't work out very well. I wasn't that pleased with it. It's kind of like Springbank. I'm kind of lukewarm on it, or I was kind of lukewarm on that particular Ardnamurchan because it was somewhat peated, yeah, but whatever. This is kind of like that too, so I'm going to give it a try. I'm coming back to Ardnamurchan after more than a year and giving it a try. And Tim has been kind enough to send me a sample, so I didn't have to go look for it, and this way I get to try it and say, maybe this is all right. Or maybe I was right last year. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty strong at 58.7%. To be honest, it smells like beer. I'm getting the maltiness, and I'm smelling beer. It smells just like beer. It's like malt and hops. Interesting. Malt and hops all the way. This is what I'm getting on the nose. But it is a really strong one, so maybe a bit of water will bring out whatever from it that it needs. Interesting nose on that. Smells just like a beer. Like a lager beer. Okay, now that I'm delving a little bit deeper, I'm getting a little bit of that peatedness. But still, to me, from here and from now, it just smells like hops, like beer. Interesting. Okay. Is my chair too low? No, my chair is not too low. My chair is just fine. This is the whiskey that most smells like beer to me. Of all the whiskeys I have ever had, none smells more like beer than this one to me. Let's see what happens when we give it the old anaconda treatment. Oh. I can see how the peated part of this whiskey can come along bitter like hops. It's interesting. Now that I angle the glass some more, it's less bitter and more peat smoke. Now I'm guessing the peat we're getting here is a Highland peat, because Ardnamurchan is a Highland distillery. So I'm getting more the kind of peat that you would find in an Isle of Arran, like a Macri Moor or something from the Lag Distillery. There's not so much of that that Isla peat, where you get a lot of iodine and a lot of sea spray and a lot of creosote and that kind of thing. This is a more woody, twiggy Highland peat. But you know what? Almost every sniff I take of it, I'm smelling lager beer. Because the peat is giving me the bitterness that hops would normally give me. Interesting. But I gotta taste this, don't I? I'm gonna taste it. Mmm. Oh. 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 This is good. I did not have the same feeling about the previous Ardnamurchan that I had tasted, but this is really full flavored, complex, full bodied, and even though it is at 58.7%, I don't feel that it needs water. It's not too hot. It's just right. It just fills my mouth with these fantastic flavors, having to do with peat and having to do with, gosh, what else? There's a lot going on here. Now that I try again, there is some kind of sherry or wine or something involved in here to balance the peat. But when I take a sip, oh, that peat and wine and or sherry and or whatever is balanced perfectly and gives me a big mouthful full of flavor that is just complex and incomparable. Wow, now I kind of see what people are all in a fuss about when they talk about Ardnamurchan. Okay, thanks again, Tim. This is interesting. Wow. It's got a nice alkaline mouthfeel. It's slippery on the tongue. And then when I take a sip, I get a strong peatiness. I get a strong peat smoke, but yes, it's not like an Isla peat at all. It's a Highland peat. It's definitely dry. and definitely smoky, and definitely like coals, like charcoal. It's not medicinal, it's not Band-Aid, it's not bonfire either, and it's not iodine. It is just grounded, earthy, woody peat. And it's balanced by, I'm thinking there's some kind of sherry involved here. Just says Ardnamurchan AD 02.22, cast strength 58.7%, non-chill filtered, non-colored, and it's peated. Oh man, did I save the best for last? Because this is the last of these samples I'm doing for now. I've got 8 more in my possession. So that'll take me to the end of the year. This is October. Yeah, 2 more months, November, December. That'll get me through the samples that I have in my possession at the moment. I'm hoping that someone else will send me some samples soon. I'm expecting some. I did get some messages and inklings that somebody's going to send me some more samples soon. I'm looking forward to that. But this is a wonderful experience. This is a beautiful whiskey. Oh, thanks again. This is better than the earliest examples of Ardbeg Ugadal that I have tried. Now, Ugadal was not my ultimate favorite, but I did warm up to it some time after the Nekpur. And I'm talking about Ugadals that you could get 6 or 7 years ago. Or is it longer now? Maybe 8 years ago. But this is a lovely whiskey. This Ardnamurchan, I'm changing my tune about Ardnamurchan. I didn't think that much of it before. But this is superb. I cannot say enough good things about this particular Ardnamurchan. Slunchula.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Yeah.